Night has settled in, soft and kind. The day has loosened its hold, and the world has grown quiet and slow. Ahead, a small harbour rests in the gentle dark. Lanterns glow along the water, warm and steady, as if they have been waiting just for this moment. The air is cool and mild, carrying the faint scent of salt and wood and distant shoreline. Everything moves at an easy, unhurried pace. Each step brings you closer to the water's edge. The ground beneath your feet feels sure and steady, solid and safe. Somewhere nearby, a rope bumps softly against a wooden post. A quiet creak answers, low and familiar, like an old friend humming under their breath. The harbour is calm tonight. Boats float in place, barely shifting, gently rocked by slow, rounded waves. Lantern light rests on their sides, painting them in soft gold and honey. The water itself seems to breathe, rising and falling in a slow, soothing rhythm. You arrive at the edge of the dock, where land gives way to water. The boards under you are smooth and worn, touched by years of tides and footsteps. They feel strong and trustworthy, holding you with ease. A faint, woody scent rises from them, dry and comforting. Out over the surface, the lanterns cast long, shimmering paths. They stretch and sway with the water, never rushed, never hurried. Each movement is gentle, like a quiet nod. The harbour accepts every small ripple and then settles again, peaceful and still. The sounds here are soft and muffled. Far away, a distant voice drifts across the water, so faint it hardly forms words. Somewhere, a slow bell chimes once, then fades into the night. Closer, the water laps at the posts with a hushed, friendly sound. Now the day begins to fall away even more. Anything that came before this moment starts to loosen, like knots untied. Thoughts from earlier feel farther and farther off, as if they belong to another shore. Here, in this quiet harbour, there is nothing you need to hold on to. The air wraps gently around you. It is cool but soft against your skin, easy to breathe. With each slow inhale, the harbour seems to settle with you. With each calm exhale, a little more of the day drifts off, like a small boat releasing from its mooring. You notice how safe everything feels here. The dock beneath you is firm, unmoving, a steady platform in the softness of the night. The boats are tied securely, ropes snug and sure, moving only enough to show that the water is alive. The lanterns hang without fear, their calm light a quiet promise that the darkness is gentle tonight. Nothing is asking anything of you now. No decisions, no plans, no effort. The harbour holds all of that at a distance, far beyond the curve of the bay. Here, you are simply allowed to be. The slow creak of wood and rope becomes a kind of lullaby. A boat shifts slightly, and the dock answers with a soft, comfortable groan. These sounds are unhurried, familiar, almost sleepy. They speak of long, peaceful nights and safe, sheltered waters. Notice the rhythm of the small waves. They glide in and slip away, one after another, never in a hurry. Each gentle splash against the posts is quiet and soothing, like a hand brushing lightly along your shoulder. The pattern is simple, repeating, reliable. The lantern light feels warm, even from where you stand or sit. It pools in small circles, touching the edges of ropes and rails and hulls. Shadows fall softly, without sharp lines, blending into the night with ease. Everything is softened, rounded and kind in this gentle glow. Here, time seems to slow down. Moments stretch out, long and peaceful, like calm water under a still sky. The usual rush has no place in this harbour. Only steadiness, only rest, only this quiet presence. If any thought rises, it can drift across your mind like a boat crossing the bay. No need to push it away, no need to follow it. Just let it move slowly past, carried by the same easy current that guides the waves. Soon it fades into the distance, leaving the water clear again. You might sense, deep inside, a feeling of arriving, as if you have come to a place that understands tiredness and welcomes it. A place that knows how to cradle what is weary and let it rest. Here, it is perfectly all right to stop, to pause, to simply breathe. The harbour night is gentle and watchful. Lanterns keep their quiet glow like small, patient guardians of the water. They need no effort from you. They ask for nothing. They simply shine, steadily, so you can relax into their soft reassurance. In this calm space, your breath can find its own easy pace. No need to control it. No need to count it. It rises and falls on its own, just like the water. In and out, simple and natural. The more you notice the harbour around you, the more your body begins to unwind. Muscles soften, as if they, too, have reached a safe shore. The weight of the day gently slips down, like a coat sliding from your shoulders. You do not have to carry anything here. Imagine the quiet stretching out along the curve of the bay. Dark water, soft light, and the faint outline of boats at rest. Nothing disturbs this peace. Nothing presses in. The world has drawn back to a low, soothing murmur. From time to time, the faintest breeze moves across the harbour. It brushes lightly against your face, barely there, cool and comforting. A rope taps once against a mast, then goes still again. Even the smallest sounds feel soft around the edges. Now, it becomes clear that you are exactly where you need to be. Not on the way to anything else, not preparing for the next moment. Just here, with the water, the lanterns, and the slow, easy night. This is enough. In this quiet harbour, your mind can rest like a boat in calm, protected water. Held, but not confined. Free, but safely anchored. Rocked only by the gentlest of motions. Nothing important can be missed while you rest. The harbour watches over what surrounds you. The lanterns keep their steady glow. The water keeps its soft, constant rhythm. If any distant sound reaches you, it arrives as if wrapped in cotton. A muffled footstep on another dock. A low murmur from someone far along the pier. All of it is softened by the night, faded into the background, easy to ignore. The center of your awareness can stay here, in this still, spacious ease, safe above the quiet dark of the water, wrapped in the gentle light, supported by the strong, steady boards beneath you. There is nowhere else you need to go, nothing else you need to do. The harbour holds this moment open for you, wide and generous. You are free to let go, to loosen, to soften into the calm. The lanterns continue their silent watch. The boats rest without strain. The water moves in its slow, familiar pattern. All around, the night deepens into a softer, deeper quiet. Here, at the edge of the harbour, everything in you is invited to settle. Thoughts can grow slower and slower. The body can feel heavier, warmer, more at ease. The heart can trust this gentle, sheltered place. And so you remain with the calm shoreline, the soft creak of wood, the distant, muffled sounds, breath rising and falling. Mind resting and drifting like a small boat on a peaceful tide, held in the warm glow of the lanterns as the harbour grows quieter still. Evening is settling in, gently and unhurried. The sky above is sliding from soft blue into a deeper shade, a quiet indigo that seems to hold the last light of the day. The warmth of the afternoon is fading, and something softer is taking its place. The world feels like it is exhaling, easing itself into a slower rhythm, inviting you to do the same. Ahead, along the curve of the harbour path, the first lanterns have begun to glow. They hang at an easy height, spaced along the walkway like small, patient stars brought down to earth. Their light is not harsh or bright. It is warm and mellow, a golden hush that spills out in gentle circles on the stone beneath your feet. Each lantern seems to offer a little island of comfort in the growing dusk. As your attention drifts toward the water, that warm glow softly doubles. You notice the way it rests on the surface of the harbour, shimmering in long, broken lines of gold. The sea is calm tonight, just a slow rise and fall, as if it is breathing with you. Each lantern leaves a quiet trail of light on the water, stretching and bending with every small movement of the waves. The air here carries the familiar scent of the harbour. Salt and seaweed, a trace of wood from the old piers, and something cool and clean as evening draws near. Breathing in, the chest feels a little lighter. Breathing out, the shoulders have a chance to soften. The body begins to recognize that this is a place where it is safe to slow down. A faint sound reaches you from the moored boats. The gentle clink of ropes against metal, a soft tap as hulls nudge against their lines. It is a small music, slow and irregular, with long, easy pauses in between. Farther away, there is the low murmur of distant voices, carried thinly over the water. They are too far to make out words, only hints of conversation, softened by the gathering night. Each sound feels wrapped in cotton, muted and kind. Nothing here demands attention. Everything is simple and distant and quiet. The day's sharper noises have fallen away, leaving just this gentle pattern, ropes, water, a hint of laughter floating somewhere beyond. The world has turned the volume down, and in the hush that follows, the mind begins to loosen its grip. Your feet find the start of the lantern-lit walkway. The stone underfoot is cool and solid, grounding you with every step. The first pool of lantern light holds you for a moment. You pause there, surrounded by a soft golden glow, the edges of your shadow blurring where the light meets the dark. Around you, night continues to gather, but here, in this small circle, everything is calm and clear. The first cool brush of night air touches your skin. It slides gently along your cheeks, across your forehead, along the back of your neck. The air is neither cold nor warm, just fresh and soothing, like a soft cloth laid over a tired brow. Any lingering warmth from the day meets this cool touch and begins to melt away. You notice how your body responds. Muscles that had been holding on without you realizing begin to loosen. The jaw rests a little more easily. The tongue softens away from the roof of the mouth. Shoulders settle a fraction lower. The fingers perhaps uncurl. You are simply here, in this moment, between lantern light and the deepening sky. You take a slow step forward, and then another. Each step is unhurried, rolling gently from heel to toe. The sound of your own movement is soft, barely more than a whisper against the stone. In the quiet, it feels like the walkway is guiding you, inviting you along its lantern-lit path, one easy breath at a time. On your left, the harbour opens out like a still, dark mirror. The last faded blue of the sky is giving way to a richer indigo, and the line between water and horizon has grown soft and blurred. Lantern reflections tremble on the surface, stretching in long ribbons of light that sway and shimmer whenever a small wave passes underneath. You slow down to watch how the water moves. It doesn't rush, it doesn't hurry. It lifts and lowers itself in the gentlest of motions, as if rocking something precious in its arms. Each small swell catches the lantern glow for a moment, then lets it go again, over and over in a quiet, endless rhythm. The sounds of the harbour rise and fall with those motions. A tiny splash as a wave taps against the stones. The faint creak of a wooden beam on a boat. Another soft clink of rope as it tightens and releases with the pull of the tide. Far off, a gull gives a final sleepy call, then is silent again. All of it blends into a soothing background murmur that asks nothing of you. Here, the remains of the day grow very far away. Thoughts that once felt busy and sharp begin to blur at the edges, like lights seen through mist. Tasks, plans, conversations from earlier slowly drift to the back of the mind, then slip away into the darkness beyond the harbour. They are no longer needed here. This time belongs only to quiet. As you walk, the lanterns continue to appear ahead of you. Each one comes into view like a small promise of comfort. First, a faint glow, then a brighter circle of gold, then the gentle halo of light spilling onto the path. You move from one to the next at an easy pace, as if following a string of soft, steady breaths laid out in front of you. Between the lanterns, the shadows deepen. The spaces of dimness are not unfriendly. They feel like a soft blanket wrapped around the edges of the world. In those darker stretches, your other senses grow a little more awake. You hear the water more clearly. You feel the caress of the night air more distinctly on your face and hands. The gentle coolness seems to reach even deeper into the body, soothing and calming as it goes. The rhythm of your steps has become part of the harbour's quiet song. Step, breath, a faint clink of metal, a distant voice, the whisper of water, all of it moving together, slow and unhurried. Everything that once felt crowded in the mind is now spread out, like the lantern lights along the path, with plenty of soft darkness in between. The sky above is now a true indigo, rich and deep. Though you may not be looking up often, you can feel that the world overhead is wide and spacious. The harbour, the boats, the path, and the gentle lights all rest comfortably beneath that broad, dark dome. It is as if the entire scene has been gathered into a soft, protective hush. You pass close to a moored boat and hear its quiet language. The faint groan of wood as it rocks on the water, the tender sigh of rope sliding along a ring, a soft tap where the hull meets the pier. These are not sharp or sudden sounds. They arrive slowly, with plenty of silence between them. Each one seems to confirm that everything here is secure, gently held in place. Every few steps, the air brushes across your skin again. Cool, steady, refreshing. It slips into your clothing, curls around your wrists, crosses your ankles. With each pass, the body relaxes a little more, as if the night itself is smoothing out the last small knots of effort left from the day. Breath has become easy and natural. In, out, as steady as the harbour's tide, as soft as the lantern glow on the water. There is nothing that needs to be changed, nothing that needs to be done correctly. Breathing happens all on its own, carrying you gently through the deepening calm of the evening. One more lantern comes into view, its light especially soft. You drift into its glow and linger there for a moment, surrounded by a quiet circle of gold. Outside this circle, the harbour stretches away in muted blues and blacks. But here, in this small pool of warmth, everything feels clear and safe and close. The longer you stand, the more the stillness grows. Sounds fade into the background, softened to a low, steady hum. The water continues its slow, cradling movement. The sky holds steady above. Lantern light shimmers on the harbour's surface, breaking and reforming in an endless, gentle pattern. Here, at the edge of evening, with the path lit softly before you and the calm harbour at your side, the world feels as though it is lowering its voice, dimming its lights and settling in for rest. You stand within that quiet, wrapped in warmth and coolness, light and shadow, breath and silence, letting everything slowly, peacefully drift into softness. The wooden boards of the pier meet you with a quiet, familiar welcome. The air is soft here, a gentle mix of salt and cool evening, wrapping around your skin in an easy, calming way. Lanterns sway above in a slow, unhurried rhythm, their warm glow breathing in and out with the motion of the night breeze. Everything around you is steady and relaxed, nothing asking for effort, nothing asking for speed. You take a slow step forward. The board beneath your foot gives just a little, a soft, living kind of support. There is a faint creak, low and comforting as the wood adjusts to your weight. It is not a sharp sound, just an easy, hushed note that lingers and then fades back into the quiet of the harbour. Another step, Your foot rolls gently from heel to toe, feeling the smoothness of the worn boards. They are cool, but not cold, firm, but not hard. Each step is like a calm exhale, spreading out through your body, reminding it that it is safe to soften. Beneath the pier, the water moves in slow, patient breaths. You can sense its rhythm through the wood under your feet, the subtle lift and release, like a steady hand supporting you from below. With every few steps, a new creak sounds out, pairing itself with the whisper of water against the pilings, joining the soft chorus of the harbour. Nothing here is rushed. Everything leans into ease. Overhead, the lanterns sway gently, following the same quiet pulse. Their light spills out across the boards, then shimmers away toward the water's edge. When you glance toward the harbour, the lantern glow stretches into the dark surface, a long, rippling path of gold. Each tiny wave bends the light, making it dance in slow, liquid movements that soothe the eyes and ease the mind. You walk on, unhurried. Your steps become slower, more deliberate, as if time itself is widening to give you space to feel. The muscles in your feet start to loosen, no longer holding tension. As your weight shifts from one foot to the other, a gentle sense of grounding grows, like roots quietly reaching through the boards to the steady structure beneath. Notice how your legs respond to this simple, quiet walking. With every step, your calves soften just a little more. Your knees move easily, no straining, just an easy bend. And straighten, bend and straighten. The weight of the day begins to drip down and away, leaving the legs heavier, but in a restful, supported way. The air moves slowly along the pier, brushing your clothes, touching your skin with a cool, steady kindness. You might feel it around your ankles, around your hands, across your face. It carries the faint scent of sea salt, old wood and distant harbour life, all blended into one soft, soothing breath of night. With each inhale, your chest opens just a little. With each exhale, your shoulders sink a bit lower, easing toward rest. Listen to the quiet music here. The boards creak under your gentle steps. The water makes a soft hush, like a distant, constant whisper. Far off, there may be a muffled sound or two from the shore, but they are smoothed out by distance, softened into the background, as if wrapped in cotton. Everything around you agrees to be calm. Another slow step, and another, as if you are moving through warm, thick air that encourages you to go gently. Your hips follow the rhythm of your feet, swaying just a little, naturally, with each shift of weight. Any tightness hiding deep in the hips begins to loosen, like a knot being untied with patience and care. Each movement sends a wave of quiet release up through the center of your body. Feel how your spine responds. As your steps grow steadier, your back begins to settle into a more comfortable, natural line. The muscles along the spine no longer need to hold on so tightly. The pier feels solid beneath you, the wood reassuring and dependable, so the body no longer has to brace itself. You can simply be carried one step at a time. Overhead, the lanterns keep swaying. Their reflections stretch across the water, thinning and thickening with every slight lift of the tide. You might imagine those reflections as long, gentle pathways of light, reaching out and then drawing back, always returning, never rushed. They look like calm thoughts drifting across the surface of the mind, appearing, lengthening, then slowly fading away into stillness. With each step, the sense of being in your body grows warmer and more settled. Your heels meet the boards with a soft, certain touch. Your toes spread and relax, no longer gripping. The arches of your feet feel supported, as though the pier is rising up to meet them, matching their shape perfectly. You notice how the weight of your body feels different now. It is heavier in a comforting way, as if gravity itself is an embrace, gently holding you close to the earth through the pier. The legs feel a little more distant, a little more relaxed, as if they are content to simply move on their own without effort from the mind. Your hips rest more deeply over your legs, no longer pushing, no longer pulling, just resting in place with quiet trust. The longer you walk, the more each step becomes an invitation to let go. As one foot lifts, it carries away a little tension. As it settles back down, that tension flows through the wood and out into the soft, dark water below. Step after step, release after release, the body learns that it does not need to hold so much. The harbour air feels thicker now, calmer, as if the night itself is settling. Breathing happens easily, without needing to be managed. Inhale, a slow, gentle rise. Exhale, a smooth, quiet fall. The rhythm of breath joins the rhythm of footsteps and the rhythm of water, all separate, yet moving together in a single, peaceful flow. There is a growing sense that the pier is not just something you walk on, but something that holds you. The wood beneath your feet seems to understand the shape and weight of your body, cradling every step. When you pause for a moment, both feet resting on the boards, you can feel the faint, steady strength of the structure underneath. The pilings reach down into the water, down toward the ocean floor, bringing that deep stability up to meet you. Standing here, your legs grow even heavier in a good way. Your thighs loosen. Your knees feel softly cushioned from within. Your calves relax their hold. From your hips down to your toes, everything feels supported, like it is being gently carried by the pier itself. When you begin to walk again, it is even slower now. Each step becomes a small wave of comfort that moves up through your legs, through your hips, and along your spine. Any remaining tightness in your lower back starts to unwind, little by little. Your back feels quietly lengthened, but not forced, as if the body is remembering how to stand, how to move with ease. Around you, the lanterns glow steadily, no longer something to look at, but something you simply feel. Their soft light seems to rest against your skin, warm and kind. The reflections on the water blur into gentle streaks, moving just enough to remind you that everything is alive, everything is breathing along with you. You are part of this slow, easy motion, nothing separate, nothing out of place. Step after step, you drift deeper into a calm, inward space. Thoughts, if they appear, move like the lantern reflections on the water, stretching out, rippling once or twice, then dissolving back into the soft darkness. The mind has less and less to say. The body knows what to do. Walk, feel, release. Walk, feel, release. Here on the pier, with the wooden boards underfoot and the quiet harbour all around, a deep sense of safety unfolds. Your legs, your hips, your spine all rest into that safety, as if leaning back into the arms of something strong and gentle. You do not need to hold yourself up alone. The pier holds you. The air supports you. The slow, steady movement of the water below rocks you in its quiet rhythm. You continue on at this peaceful pace, each step softer than the last. The body grows heavier, yet somehow lighter inside, as tension slips away like water through fingers. Breath flows easily, sound drifts softly, and the boards beneath your feet keep offering their calm, familiar creak. Everything encourages you to sink into this comfort, to be still inside, even as you move. And so you walk slowly, gently, in warm lantern light and quiet harbour air, held by the pier, supported by the night, drifting into deeper and deeper ease, until even the simple act of stepping forward feels like a kind of rest. The night is quiet here by the water. Soft air rests on the skin, cool and gentle, carrying the faint salt of the sea. Ahead, the harbour lies in an easy hush. Lantern light glows in small warm circles along the dock, and beyond that, the dark surface of the water moves in a slow, steady rhythm. Everything feels unhurried. Everything moves at its own soft pace. Listen to the way the waves touch the shore, not crashing, not loud, just a tender, repeating sound, a quiet lap against stone, a small sigh as the water curls in and eases back out. The stones along the edge are smooth and still. Water reaches for them, brushes their sides, and slips away again. Each wave rises with a soft hush, then fades, leaving only a faint whisper of foam. It is the same motion, over and over, yet somehow always new. Further along the dock, the wooden pilings stand like patient guardians. Waves drift in and tap them with gentle hands. A muted knock of water on wood, soft and hollow, then the slow pulling away as the wave returns to the open harbour. The sound repeats, steady and kind, a quiet heartbeat in the night. Boats rest in their berths, rocking almost too slowly to see. Their hulls meet the water with a peaceful, rounded sound, like a deep, contented breath. A wave moves in and brushes the side of a boat, then slips underneath, lifting it just a little. Then the water glides back, and the boat settles again, safe and cradled. Notice how many layers of sound live in this calm place. The gentle slap of water against wood, the softer, lighter tapping on stone, the faint rustle of tiny bubbles and foams swirling, then falling quiet. All of it blending into one slow, soothing rhythm. Let the mind rest on that rhythm, not needing to follow every detail, just feeling the pattern. Wave comes in, touches, lingers, and then goes out. Again and again, the same soft promise of return. In this moment, the breath can begin to follow the water. As a wave rolls in, feel the ease of breathing in. As the water slides away, feel the gentle release of breathing out. In, as the wave arrives. Out, as it thins and draws back. Each breath becomes a quiet tide within the body, rising slowly, falling slowly. Nothing forced, nothing pushed. Just a natural, easy movement, like the harbour itself breathing under the night sky. The more attention settles on these waves, the simpler everything feels. Thoughts that were busy or tangled begin to loosen, like small pieces of driftwood carried out by the current. They float for a moment on the surface of awareness, and then the next soft wave gathers them up and carries them farther away. Listen to the tiny differences between each sound. One wave reaches a little farther up the stones, making a slightly fuller, rounder hush. The next one is lighter, a quiet brush that fades almost as soon as it begins. Another wave finds a narrow gap between rocks, and a gentle trickle follows, like water whispering a secret to the earth. Near the boats, a slow creak of rope can be heard, low and sleepy. It moves only when the water does. A wave lifts the boat, the rope tightens and murmurs, then relaxes again as the water falls. Everything in the harbour responds to the same calm pull, the same soft release. Notice how predictable this rhythm is. Wave after wave, always returning, always easing away. The body understands this pattern. Muscles respond without effort, letting go a little more each time the water sighs back from the shore. As the waves slow in the mind, the spaces between them feel wider and softer. In those quiet spaces, nothing needs attention. Nothing needs to be solved or held. There is only the echo of the last wave and the gentle waiting for the next. Breathing continues to match the harbour. In, like a wave gathering itself just beyond the dock. Out, like that same wave spreading over stone, then disappearing into stillness. Over and over, steady and smooth, until breath and water feel like the same slow motion. The night deepens around the harbour, and the sounds soften even more. The waves stay gentle, but they seem quieter now, as if listening too. Sometimes, for a few heartbeats, the surface is almost still. Then a new, tender wave arrives, touches the shore, and slides away again. Thoughts that try to rise are met with this same soft pattern. They appear for a moment, like a small boat drifting into view. Then a calm wave nudges them, turns them gently and guides them back toward the open water, where they grow smaller and smaller and finally fade into the dark, peaceful distance. Here, by the harbour, the body feels lightly held, as if resting in the curve of the shoreline itself. Every slow rock of the water is like a careful cradling motion. The dock beneath is steady, but the sense of being rocked remains, deep and quiet inside. With each breath, with each wave, the mind grows more fluid, more at ease. Edges soften. Time stretches out. Only the present rhythm matters now. The coming and going, the lifting and settling, the gentle in and the gentle out. Even the smallest sounds feel kind. A drop of water falling back from a stone. A faint swirl where two little currents meet and spin out in a soft spiral. All of it is simple. All of it is calm. Now the harbour feels like a safe, slow lullaby. The waves keep singing the same quiet line, over and over in low, soothing tones. Nothing breaks the pattern. Nothing disturbs the water's patient, rocking song. Breath joins that song completely. In, like a wave drawing close. Out, like a wave gliding away into the dark. The whole body follows, loosening, unwinding, growing heavier and more peaceful with every gentle cycle. Thoughts grow fewer, like lanterns dimming one by one along the shore. The mind does not need to hold on to anything. It can simply float, as if lying back on the soft surface of the harbour, carried by the steady rise and fall. The soft waves continue, unhurried and familiar. Their rhythm is always there, beneath everything else, supporting, rocking, soothing. And as the sound of water on stone, on wood, on resting boats repeats and repeats, awareness can rest inside that slow, steady motion, drifting a little deeper with each quiet wave, into a warm, hushed stillness, where the harbour holds you and the night grows very, very calm. The path carries you closer to the water, where the harbour grows quieter and softer, wrapped in its own gentle glow. Lantern light rests on the surface of the bay like warm breath, touching the water with drifting strokes of gold. Ahead, boats are lined up in their slips, resting in easy stillness. Their shapes are calm and patient, as if the night itself has asked them to be still, and they have gladly agreed. The air has that quiet harbour smell, a hint of salt, a touch of wood and rope and cool metal. It feels familiar, even if it is new, like a place the body understands right away. Water taps lightly against the hulls, a slow and steady rhythm, not loud. Just enough to remind you that everything here moves in a soft, unhurried way. The harbour breathes, the boats breathe, and the night seems to breathe too. Lanterns hang from posts and from the ends of the docks, throwing circles of warm light over the slips. Each lantern makes its own small world, a patch of shining boards, a curve of hull, a loop of rope catching a soft glow before fading back into shadow. Boats of different shapes and sizes rest side by side. Some are small and simple, some a bit taller, but all of them are quiet now. Their work is over for the day. Engines are silent, sails are folded, and every line and knot has eased into a peaceful hold. Watch the way each hull leans into the water. The curves are smooth and steady, like a calm breath drawn in and slowly let go. Dark paint and pale paint both soften in this light, until all the boats seem to share the same gentle stillness. Water moves under them in slow, glassy waves. Lantern light glides across the surface, sliding up the sides of the boats in long, delicate strokes. Gold becomes shadow. Shadow becomes gold again, as if the light is quietly rocking each boat to sleep. Ropes stretch from the boats to the dock, tied in easy loops and neat coils. Nothing is strained or tight. Each knot holds firmly, but with a feeling of comfort and trust. They know this work. They know how to keep these boats safe. Notice how the lines dip toward the water, then rise again as the boats sway. A gentle pull, a gentle release. Everything moves together, but nothing breaks its calm rhythm. Walking along the dock, each step feels slower, more relaxed, matching the pace of the harbour. Boards give a soft sound underfoot, low and reassuring, as if the dock itself is part of this resting place. You are not rushing. There is nowhere to go except deeper into this ease. The air is cooler over the water, brushing softly across skin. It carries a distant murmur of the open sea, softened by distance, filtered through layers of stillness. Here, that wild water has become calm and sheltered, wrapped in the arms of the harbour walls and the steady lines of these slips. Boats rock ever so slightly, forward, back, a small tilt to one side, then returning, always returning, to centre. The movement is slow enough that the eyes and body begin to mirror it without trying. As you stand and watch, it is easy to imagine that the harbour is a cradle, and each boat is a quiet dream tucked inside, protected, held, able to move and drift, but never lost, never adrift alone in the dark. The lantern light on the water becomes almost hypnotic. It pools around the hulls, gathers at the edges of the docks, then leans away and dissolves into deeper shadow. Like soft thoughts floating through a drowsy mind, appearing, fading, and leaving behind only a feeling of warmth and ease. Some of the boats have covers pulled over them, like blankets tucked carefully into place. Others lie open, their decks bare and simple, trusting the stillness of the night. All of them share the same deep rest, the same release from effort. Imagine the work each one has done. Days of cutting through waves, lines pulled in, hands on the wheel or on the oars. Now, in this quiet hour, none of that is needed. They float without trying. They are carried without effort. A soft kinship begins to form here, between the quiet boats and the quiet inside your own body. The way they are moored and gently held, you are too. Anchored to this moment, anchored to this safe place, even as thoughts and feelings drift like water around you. You do not have to hold everything up right now. You do not have to steer. You do not have to watch the horizon. In this gentle harbour, the lines are already tied, the knots already secure. Feel how that truth settles. Something inside loosens, like a rope slipping lightly through your fingers, coming to rest in a soft coil on the dock. Breath drops a little deeper. Shoulders grow a little heavier in a comfortable way, as if they are finally allowed to rest in their own natural place. The slow rocking of the boats offers a quiet invitation to sway inward, to release any small tension still being held, to let every muscle find its own safe harbour for the night. If the mind wanders, let it wander here, along these calm hulls and shining ropes. Let it drift from lantern to lantern, from gliding reflection to gliding reflection. Thoughts can rise and fall like these gentle waves, never needing to be pushed away, never needing to be followed. Notice how each boat is separate, and yet all are held by the same still water. Each one has its own lines, its own shadows, its own story of the day. Yet now they share the same deep quiet. In the same way, each soft breath is its own, and still part of one long, peaceful flow. Every rope you see is a promise that nothing will drift too far tonight. No boat will lose its place. The harbour keeps them close, no matter how softly they move. That same steadiness can be felt like an anchor inside you, a gentle weight that says, you are safe, you are held. The lanterns do not rush to burn brighter. They do not strain. They simply glow at their own calm level, offering enough light for comfort and no more. Their patient warmth seems to say that it is all right for you to do the same. To be enough, just as you are in this soft, quiet moment. Beyond the slips, the darker water of the bay breathes in wider, slower waves. You might sense its movement without needing to see it, just a feeling of spaciousness around this sheltered place. Here, within the harbour, that vastness is translated into safety. Big motion becomes small, gentle rocking. Strong tides become the faintest pull against the lines. Standing among these resting boats, it is easy to feel that you too are part of this calm, part of this rhythm. Not separate from it, but floating inside it, carried by it. Held the way these boats are held, with quiet care and easy trust. Let that feeling sink in, as if it is soaking slowly into every tired place, into the chest, into the belly, into the hands and feet. The harbour holds the boats, and something soft and kind holds you. The night deepens, but it does not feel empty. It feels full of hush and protection. The soft slap of water on wood, the whisper of air over the decks, the distant, muffled sounds of life far away. All of it blends into one gentle, lulling background. Thoughts grow slower here, like the way the boats have slowed. Concerns and plans can stay tied up on the dock for a while, resting in their own quiet coils. They will still be there later. For now, they do not need your hands on them. For this moment, it is enough to float without effort in the easy cradle of this harbour, to sway just a little with each breath, to feel the sure, steady lines holding you in place even as you drift deeper inside. The lanterns shine on, soft and unhurried. The boats rock in their slips, gentle and content. Water moves in calm, slow patterns around them, around you, carrying everything toward a deeper and deeper rest. And the night leans in closer, wrapping the harbour, the boats, and your own quiet body in one wide, peaceful embrace. The path curves just a little, following the line of the water. Ahead, a quiet shape waits in the soft glow of the lanterns. A simple bench resting beside the harbour, as if it has been waiting here for you for a very long time. The air is gentle around it. Lantern light falls in a warm pool across the worn wood, and the faint hush of waves reaches this spot with an easy, soothing rhythm. It feels like a natural place to pause, a place where everything seems to say it is safe to be still now. As you step closer, notice how the world narrows down to this small, peaceful space. The bench, the slow water, the steady glow of the lanterns reflected on the surface. Nothing to hurry toward, nothing that needs to be done. Now imagine turning and slowly lowering yourself onto the bench. Feel the moment when your body meets the solid wood, the gentle give of the seat beneath you, the way your weight begins to sink down, supported, held. Let yourself settle a little more. The bench is steady and quiet, grounded into the earth. As you rest on it, some part of you can begin to feel grounded too. Notice how the contact spreads from the back of your thighs, down through your hips, into the line of your spine. With each slow breath, allow your weight to drop just a bit more into the bench. There is nothing for your muscles to hold up on their own. The bench is doing that for you now, patiently, without effort, without strain. Your feet can rest where they land, easy and loose. Maybe they feel the solid ground, cool or warm beneath them. Maybe the toes relax inside soft fabric, the ankles unhooking, the calves loosening little by little. Everything below you is strong and still, so you do not have to be. Bring gentle attention to your hands. Notice where they choose to rest. Perhaps they lie in your lap, or maybe they come to settle on the smooth, worn surface of the bench. As your fingers touch the wood, become aware of its quiet texture, the slight grain beneath the fingertips, the way the surface feels softened by time, by weather, by many moments of stillness like this. It is neither sharp nor demanding, only present, simple, supportive. Feel how your palms open just a little as they rest. No need to grip or hold on. The wood is not going anywhere. It is simply there, meeting your hands, letting them be heavy and relaxed. Your shoulders can respond to that. Notice if they have been lifted, guarding, holding. Imagine them gently melting downward, sliding away from your ears, as though the bench is quietly inviting them to let go. With each exhale, they soften a fraction more. Your breathing begins to match the slow rhythm of the harbour. In, a soft wave rising. Out, a soft wave settling. Nothing forced, nothing pushed, only the natural ebb and flow of air moving in and out. The lanterns along the water cast long, gentle paths of light across the harbour. From where you sit, those reflections drift and shimmer, stretching and bending with the movement of the tide. It is like watching tiny, floating threads of gold and amber weaving across the dark surface. You are still while the water moves. You are quiet while the reflections slowly shift and tremble. There is a calmness in knowing that you do not need to follow them, or track them, or think about them. You can simply gaze, or even just sense that soft changing glow with your eyes half closed, or fully closed, if that feels easier. Notice how the bench supports you even more fully when your eyes rest. Without needing to look at anything, you might become aware of the gentle lines of your body supported from below. Your back leaning into the invisible cradle of the air. Your body held between the soft night and the solid wood. Imagine that the harbour is a quiet companion beside you, the water breathing slowly, the lanterns offering a steady, friendly presence, the faint sounds of the night moving at a distance, never intruding, only wrapping the edges of this small, safe space. Here, nothing is asked of you. No choices to make, no direction you need to face. You do not have to decide what comes next. If thoughts drift in, they can be like passing boats far out on the water. You might notice them, then let them glide away into the darkness, leaving barely a ripple behind. Your attention can return to the simple feeling of sitting, breathing, being held. Feel how your hips rest more deeply into the bench now, the muscles around them slackening, the lower back softening, even just a little, as it realizes it does not have to stay alert. You are supported. Notice your legs. From the tops of your thighs, down through your knees, along your shins, all the way to your feet. Imagine a slow wave of ease drifting down through them, calming every small place that has carried tension through the day. They can be heavy and quiet now. Your arms, too, can surrender their weight. From the shoulders, down through the upper arms, past the elbows, into the forearms and hands. Let them be as heavy or as light as they wish, completely allowed, completely accepted by the bench beneath and the air around. Your neck and jaw can soften into this stillness. The muscles that have been helping you speak or think or express can rest. The jaw loosens. The tongue sits comfortably in the mouth with plenty of space. The muscles around the eyes ease, as if smooth, warm hands of night are gently laying over them. If your eyelids are not already closed, they may become heavier now, like soft curtains being drawn for the evening, each blink a little slower, a little longer, until it feels natural just to let them stay closed or almost closed, drifting at the edge of sleep. The harbour seems to lean in a little closer, not in any demanding way, but with quiet companionship. The soft lap of water against the shore is like a slow, reassuring whisper. The air carries a faint, clean scent of the sea, and perhaps a trace of wood, of rope, of distant lantern oil, all of it mingling into a single gentle presence surrounding you. In this moment, you do not have to move. You do not have to reach for anything. Simply resting here is enough. Breath by breath, the body learns that it is safe to loosen, to sink, to drift. Imagine that with each exhale, anything heavy inside you can flow out, down through the bench, into the earth below. Tiredness, worry, tightness, all gently draining away, leaving you lighter, quieter. Inhale, and the calm of the harbour rises up to meet you. Exhale, and the weight of the day melts further and further from your muscles, from your thoughts. The night around you is spacious and kind. Lantern light flickers on the water. The bench holds you without effort, without question. You are allowed to be exactly as you are in this one calm place beside the water. Stay with the feeling of being supported, the steady comfort beneath you, the soft air around you, the slow, soothing presence of the harbour at your side. Breath soft, body heavy and at ease. Mind growing quieter, like the harbour settling into its own deep, peaceful night. And you, calmly resting on the bench, drifting deeper into stillness, as everything around you grows softer, slower, and very, very quiet. Lantern light rests on the water in a soft, golden hush. Everything around it is quiet and slow. The night is calm, the air is gentle, and the harbour seems to breathe in a quiet rhythm of its own. Ahead, the tide rises and falls in an easy, unhurried motion. Each slow swell carries the lantern's glow across the surface. The light stretches out, then gathers back in, as if the water is drawing a long, peaceful breath. Watch how the glow reaches across the dark like a path. A band of soft gold shimmers over the small waves. It is never quite the same from one moment to the next. Lines of light form, break apart, and form again as the tide moves under the lantern. The water leans toward the shore, then slips away again. With every gentle shift, the reflection changes. Long ribbons of light pull out, thin and delicate, then fold back into small glowing patches. The movement is unhurried and sure, calm and steady. Tiny glints appear on the surface, bright for a second, then gone. A small crest catches the lantern glow and flashes softly, then melts back into shadow. New sparkles take its place, scattered like quiet stars drifting on the tide. Nothing stays for long, yet nothing feels rushed. The light and the water move together as one, like a slow, peaceful breath. In The glow stretches wide, carried up by the swelling tide. Out, it gathers close again, sinking back into a compact pool beneath the lantern. In and out, light and water, rising and falling. Notice how simple this is. Just light on water and water under light. Nothing to solve, nothing to change, only the soft rhythm repeating itself again and again. As you stay with this easy motion, everything else begins to fade to the edges. Thoughts that felt sharp and busy at the start soften. They drift like small boats set loose from their ropes, gently carried away by the current. No need to follow where they go. The mind starts to move like the tide. A thought rises, touches the surface, catches the lantern glow for a moment. Then it slips under again, fading back into the quiet dark below. Each one grows lighter, less solid, more like a reflection than a thing you have to hold. The lantern light sways just a little, and the whole pattern shifts. Golden bands slide across the water, changing shape, changing length, but always calm. Shadow follows light, and light reaches back into shadow, over and over in a soft, endless loop. At times, the reflection looks like a long, bright path reaching out toward the open water. At other times, it breaks into scattered pieces, small islands of light floating on dark glass. The changes are gentle, smooth, almost sleepy. You can rest inside this easy, familiar rhythm. The air around the harbour feels slow and warm. The soft hush of water moving against the shore drifts through the stillness. Every sound is muted, like it is wrapped in a blanket of night. The lantern's glow becomes the quiet center of everything. Breathing falls into step with the tide without effort. A slow inhale follows the light as it stretches out across the surface. A long exhale follows it back as it gathers close, small and bright again. In and out, matching the water, matching the light. Each time the tide lifts, the gold seems to rise with it. Each time the tide falls, the glow settles down again, sinking a little deeper into rest. This simple pattern repeats until it begins to feel like the whole world is moving in one slow breath. Nothing urgent, nothing loud, only this soft flow. The edges of things blur in the dimness. The line between sky and water is barely there. Lantern light softens into the dark, and the dark softens into the light. Shapes melt into one another as if the night has closed its eyes halfway. Here, awareness can grow soft too. You do not need to watch every wave. You do not need to follow every glimmer. It is enough to feel the gentle rise and fall, the way the glow comes and goes. Thoughts grow as fluid as the reflections. One thought brightens for a moment, clear and sharp, like a sudden flash of gold on the tide. Then it fades, and another one takes its place, quieter, more distant. Soon they blur together, like light seen through sleepy eyes. The more the light changes, the calmer everything feels, because nothing in this scene tries to stay the same. Every ripple accepts the next. Every glint appears, disappears, and leaves no trace behind. The lantern glow no longer seems to sit just on the surface. It feels like it sinks a little into the water, as though the tide is holding it carefully. The harbour cradles both water and light in its quiet curve. Everything is gently supported, gently at ease. Breath loosens, shoulders soften. The whole body grows a little heavier and more relaxed. Comfort seeps in slowly, the way lantern light seeps into the dark water. Nothing forced, nothing pushed, just a quiet settling down. Now the shimmering bands of light feel almost like a slow, quiet song. They lengthen and shorten in a soothing pattern with no beginning and no end. Each small glint that appears and vanishes is like a soft note that rises and then fades into silence. The mind listens without effort, drifting in the gentle rhythm. The tide keeps its patient pace, up and down, light stretching, light folding back, breath rising, breath falling, all of it blending into one calm, steady motion. Eyes in this scene feel heavy, as if they could close at any moment and nothing important would be missed. The glow would still move on the water. The tide would still rise and fall. The harbour would still hold everything in a wide, quiet embrace. The lantern's reflection grows a little softer now, edges less clear. Gold melts into shadow, and shadow into gold, until they almost become the same gentle shade. Awareness does the same, easing away from sharp focus, slipping into something wide and quiet and deep. Here, the only thing that matters is this slow, soothing dance of light and tide, in and out, near and far, bright and dim, all blending into one peaceful flow. The water keeps breathing under the lantern. The lantern keeps breathing over the water. And somewhere in between, the mind rests, weightless and calm, floating with the moving bands of gold and shadow, drifting in the softness, growing quieter and quieter, until only the gentle rhythm remains and everything else can fall away into silence. The harbour rests in an easy hush. And now attention begins to soften upward. The lanterns still glow along the water's edge, warm and low, like little pockets of comfort. Their light pools on the boards, on the stones, and on the slow-moving water. Each small flame feels close, familiar, and safe. Above all of this, the night sky stretches wide and deep. Let your awareness drift gently from the lanterns to that open darkness above. The shift is slow and kind. From the warm, golden glow at the water's surface, the gaze lifts, little by little, into the cool, spacious sky. The contrast is soft, not sharp. Down near the harbour, the world feels close and sheltered. Up above, there is a quiet immensity, calm and steady. Both are here at the same time. Both are holding you. Stars are scattered across the dark like small distant lanterns. Some shine with a steady, gentle brightness. Others are faint and far away, barely brushing the edge of awareness. Far out, over the harbour entrance, a few clearer stars seem to hang just above the water. They watch over the slow rise and fall of the tide, like tiny guardians of the night. Each one feels patient, unhurried, at ease. As your attention rests with the stars, the sounds of the harbour grow even softer. The lap of the waves against the pilings, the faint creak of a boat settling in its moorings. Somewhere farther along the pier, a rope gives a slow, quiet groan as it stretches and relaxes again. All of it blends into a single, gentle rhythm in the background. Breathing follows that same unhurried rhythm now. In, soft and easy. Out, slow and loose. With each exhale, the body feels a little heavier, a little more settled. Yet the mind begins to feel lighter, as if it has more room to stretch out into the night. The sky above the harbour seems endless, but not empty. It is full of a calm presence, a deep, cool stillness that supports everything underneath. The dark water, the moored boats, the glowing lanterns, and you. High overhead, a few stars seem to form soft, simple shapes. Maybe 2 or 3 make a tiny, tilted line. Another small cluster might curve gently, like the hint of a smile. The mind does not have to name them or remember anything about constellations. It is enough to notice how they quietly relate to each other in the sky. One star, then another beside it, then another a little farther away. The eye or the inner sense can trace a slow path between them, a barely there pattern, like a child's drawing in the air. The journey from one point of light to the next is steady and unhurried. Each point becomes a little resting place for the mind. Touch one star with awareness. Pause. Drift to the next. Pause again, and then to another. Breathing out. Longer and longer. The harbour below feels even more peaceful as the focus widens. The lanterns are still there, offering warmth and nearness. But now they sit within a much larger bowl of space. A safe, glowing shoreline held inside a vast velvety night. A soft breeze moves through, barely stirring the air. It brushes across cheeks, across forehead, perhaps through hair. Cool, but gentle. It seems to arrive from that wide sky itself, gliding down to meet the warmth of the harbour. Each breath in feels like drawing that cool, quiet air into the body. With every breath out, something loosens and falls away. The shoulders ease. The jaw softens. The muscles along the back and arms grow heavy and relaxed. It is almost as if the breeze carries the quiet of the night. With each slow movement, it brings a deeper lull, a deeper calm. The mind imagines that this wind has passed over open water, over sleeping hills, under distant, silent stars, gathering stillness as it travels. Now it arrives here, to this gentle harbour, and wraps you in its calm. The sense of space above grows wider still. No clear edges, no walls or ceiling, only open, dark, friendly sky, dotted with patient lights. The feeling of smallness here is soothing, not frightening, like being a soft, tiny glow held inside something vast and kind. The lantern light near your feet or at your side now feels like a little star of its own. It flickers gently, its reflection stretching and swaying on the surface of the water. Each movement is slow, unhurried, and endlessly repeating. Lantern, reflection, water, sky. The boundaries between them all begin to blur a bit in the mind. The golden warmth of the lanterns seems to reach up toward the stars. The cool light of the stars seems to soften and drift down towards the harbour. Above and below gradually feel like parts of one quiet whole. Breathing moves easily in this wide sense of space. The chest rises as if floating a little closer to the stars. The chest falls as if settling a little deeper into the soft, warm harbour, held from above and below at the same time, supported from every side. There is nothing to solve here, nothing to fix or manage. The sky holds its shape without effort. The water moves and rests on its own. The lanterns burn softly, needing no attention. In the same way, your body knows how to relax. Your mind knows how to drift. Each star becomes a tiny reminder of ease. Each one whispers, in its own quiet way, that it has been shining for a long, long time, that it will continue to shine, gently, long after this night. The sense of time stretches out, slow and smooth like a long horizon. All that matters now is this soft, unfolding moment. The night sky over the harbour is like a deep, calm breath that never ends. Inhaling, the body receives the coolness, the space, the quiet. Exhaling, all tension melts down and away, like a thin mist sinking into the dark water. If the mind wants something to follow, it can continue tracing those simple shapes among the stars. A curve here, a line there, tiny dots of light linked by ease and imagination. With each slow tracing, the thoughts grow softer and farther apart, like waves spreading out and fading. The brow smooths. The eyes, whether open or resting, grow heavy and calm. The tongue relaxes in the mouth. You are like that small lantern along the harbour path, a gentle, steady glow resting safely beneath a wide, tender sky, surrounded by softness, surrounded by quiet, wrapped in both the closeness of the sleepy harbour and the endless comfort of the night above. Nothing presses in, nothing demands. There is only this deep, quiet presence, the harbour, the stars, the slow, rocking breath, all of it moving together in a single, peaceful rhythm. Let yourself be held here, just as you are, warmth below, cool, spacious sky above, and in between, a calm, steady light, easing further and further into stillness, into rest, into silence. The bench is still warm beneath you, the night wrapped softly around the harbour. Lantern light trembles on the water, slow and gentle, as if the whole world is breathing in a quieter rhythm. When you are ready, you rise, not in a hurry, just a slow, easy movement, as though the air itself is helping you stand. Your body feels loose, unwound, as you take the first unhurried step along the docks. The wooden boards accept your weight with a soft, familiar give. Each step lands like a quiet footfall in a dream, steady and slow. You move through pockets of lantern glow and deeper pools of shadow, the night opening before you with calm patience. Around you, the boats are resting. Hull against hull, they lean into one another like friends, asleep side by side. Ropes stretch from cleats to posts, slack and easy, holding each boat in a gentle embrace. A soft tap reaches your ears, light and rhythmic. Loose lines brush against the wooden posts, knocking ever so lightly as the water rocks them. Tap. And then a slow pause. Another tap, like a small, steady heartbeat inside the quiet. The faint scent of salt hangs in the air, smooth and familiar. There is a hint of rope and old wood, a whisper of tar and seaweed, the clean chill of open water just beyond the harbour walls. Each breath you take feels deeper, easier, as though the night air is clearing extra space inside your chest. You walk at a pace that feels almost like drifting. Your feet know the path without needing to look. Boards, gaps, small knots in the wood. All of it passes beneath you like a gentle, rolling current. Lanterns hang from posts and from the masts of small boats. Some glow brighter, some dimmer, each one wrapped in its own soft halo. In their pale light, the ropes look like lines drawn in warm gold, trailing down into shadow and water. You pass close to a sleeping boat, its side just an arm's length away. The hull rises, then settles again on the quiet swell, moving in a slow, drowsy rhythm. A fender creaks softly where it rubs against the dock, a low, sleepy sound, as if the boat is murmuring in its dreams. All around, the harbour has hushed itself. Voices are gone, engines silent, no hurried footsteps, no busy clatter. The world has thinned down to the simple music of night water, soft tapping lines, and your own steady breathing. You feel pleasantly unobserved here. No one is watching. No one needs anything from you. The docks, the boats, the lanterns, all simply allow you to be, free to wander, to float through this quiet scene exactly as you are. The boards beneath your feet change slightly in texture as you continue. Here, they are a little older, a little more worn smooth by years of tides and steps. Your footsteps sound faint and hollow, then fade, swallowed by the wide stillness around you. Only now and then does something shift. A buoy bumps softly against a piling. A line tightens with a quiet, creaking sigh, then relaxes again. These gentle sounds rise and fall like waves of drowsy thought, appearing, then slipping back into the background. Your mind begins to mirror the harbour. Thoughts slow, spreading out with more space between them. Nothing presses, nothing crowds. Ideas drift past like small boats, easy to notice, easy to let go. You move by another lantern, its light falling warmly across your path. The air here feels almost golden, soft on your skin. Tiny insects circle lazily through the glow, unhurried, as if even they have given in to the peace of the hour. The faint scent of rope is stronger near a tall, stacked coil on the dock. The fibres look thick and sturdy, yet now, in the stillness, they rest without strain. You sense the strength held inside them, but you also feel how, in this quiet moment, even strength can soften and let go. A light breeze brushes your face, cool and kind. It carries the salt of the open sea and the softer, more sheltered smell of the harbour. As the air moves across your skin, your muscles relax just a little more, like sails loosening when the wind grows gentle. Your footsteps continue their slow rhythm. Heel, then toe, then a small pause. Each step is separate and clear, and yet they all blend into one long, unbroken walk through calm. Time feels stretched and hazy, as if the night has all the space in the world. Off to one side, a cluster of smaller boats nudges together. Loose lines knock gently against their sides, a scattered pattern of tiny taps. Some close together, some far apart, like rain that has slowed to just a few remaining drops. You notice how the water holds everything. All the hulls, all the reflections of lanterns, all the slow movements. Everything is resting on that dark, steady surface. In the same way, you feel supported by this moment, quietly held without any effort of your own. Your awareness turns inward just a little more, the outside world softening at the edges. Sounds become round and distant, as though wrapped in layers of velvet. You move inside a small private cocoon of calm, walking, breathing, barely needing to think at all. Sometimes a thought floats up, something from the day, a memory, a worry, a small unfinished task. It drifts into your mind like a piece of driftwood carried between boats, and then drifts on, carried away by the gentle current of your attention. You don't need to push anything away. The harbour doesn't argue with the waves. It just lets them arrive and fade. You too can let each thought come and then go, as your steps remain slow, steady, and easy on the planks. The further you walk, the more the quiet settles into you. It settles into your shoulders, into your chest, into the small spaces of your hands and feet, filling you with a deep, restful stillness. Here and there, a lantern swings the slightest bit, as if nodding. The moving light changes the way the shadows lie across the boats, but nothing is disturbed. Everything simply adjusts, then returns to its peaceful balance. You arrive at a slightly wider place in the docks, where the boards open into a small turning area. It feels like the harbour has given you a soft, private corner. You pause here, letting your weight sink comfortably through your feet, trusting the wood beneath you, trusting the gentle strength of the posts that reach down into the water. The air is especially quiet in this little pocket. Sounds seem further away, softer, slower. You can almost feel the silence resting on your skin, cool and light, like a shawl of night draped over your shoulders. Breath moves in and out of you, calm and unforced. With each exhale, the body grows heavier, more anchored to the gentle sway of the docks. With each inhale, the mind grows a little more spacious, a little more open to ease. Around you, the sleeping boats keep their silent watch. Their masts, their ropes, their quiet, patient hulls. All of them part of a world that has chosen to rest, a world that understands the value of stillness. Standing there, or perhaps taking a few more slow steps, You feel how natural it is to slow down, how natural it is to be unhurried, to move without goal, just following the soft pull of comfort and calm. The night deepens, but it does not feel dark. It feels full, full of gentle sounds, full of soft scents, full of space and time to simply be. You are part of that fullness, woven quietly into this tender harbour night. Thoughts grow fainter again, like distant lights across the water. What remains nearby is simple: the touch of air on your face, the steady rhythm of your own breath, the slow, rocking hush of water against wood. You continue to drift along the docks in your own time, no longer measuring steps, no longer concerned with where the path begins or ends. Just resting inside the easy motion of this walk, inside the safe cradle of the harbour. And as you move, or as you stand, everything around you keeps holding its gentle, lantern-lit stillness. A quiet world, breathing slowly with you, softly inviting you to melt deeper and deeper into its calm, into its silence, into rest. Night has deepened over the harbour. The sky feels heavier and softer now, like a thick, dark blanket laid gently over everything. Lanterns still glow along the quiet path, their light steady and calm. Each small flame seems to breathe slowly in the dark, warm and unhurried. The air has cooled, and with it, the world has grown quieter. Sounds that were once clear and sharp are now distant and gentle. Voices from far away have faded into a soft murmur, almost part of the night itself. Nothing tries to be loud anymore. Every noise has rounded edges, smoothed by the late hour. Out across the water, the harbour rests. Boats sit close together, barely moving, like a group of friends who have fallen asleep side by side. Their ropes are still, stretched but relaxed, holding them tenderly in place. Masts are dark shapes against the sky, no longer reaching, just resting. The waves have changed too. Earlier they had a little more life, a bit more play. Now they move in slow, quiet breaths, sliding against the shore with almost no sound. Each small wave arrives, sighs softly against the stone, and then slips away. The water does not rush. It only rises and falls in a gentle, steady rhythm. As the waves soften, the whole harbour begins to feel wrapped in silence. Not an empty silence, but a full, comforting one. It is the kind of quiet that holds you rather than leaving you alone. The kind of hush that lets your shoulders drop and your jaw loosen without you even trying. A lantern near the edge of the pier burns with a calm, unwavering glow. Its light falls in a soft circle on the worn wood, making it look warm and safe. Beyond that circle, the darkness is deep, but it does not feel threatening. It feels like a wide, open space where nothing is demanded and nothing is urgent. Farther along, more lanterns send out their halos of light. Each one is like a small island of safety in the night. The air around them seems slower somehow, as if time moves more gently inside their glow. Shadow and light blend together, not fighting, just sharing the quiet. Somewhere, very far away, a faint sound drifts across the water. Maybe a low, distant horn, maybe a soft clank of metal against metal. But here, those sounds arrive as little more than a whisper, softened by distance and dark. They fade almost as soon as they are heard, sinking back into the background hum of night. With each passing moment, the harbour feels slower. Movements are smaller, fewer, almost invisible. Even the air seems to have settled, no longer brushing sharply against the skin, but resting gently on it. Breath falls into the same easy rhythm as the waves, in and out, slow and smooth. Thoughts can follow that same rhythm. Ideas that once moved quickly, jumping from one thing to the next, begin to soften around the edges. They quiet down like voices in the harbour that have grown tired and gone to bed. Nothing needs to be solved now. Nothing needs to be remembered or planned. They can drift to the back of the mind, like small boats floating farther and farther from the shore. Here, in this deep, late quiet, the body knows how to rest. Muscles release their hold, one small place at a time. The neck lets go of its effort. The face smooths. Hands rest without needing to grip. Feet no longer push or carry. The whole body becomes a little heavier, a little more still, like the anchored boats. The harbour and the body begin to feel alike. Both are held safely where they are. Both are surrounded by quiet, soft movement. For the harbour, that movement is the slow rise and fall of the tide. For the body, it is the calm rise and fall of each breath. They match each other, breath to wave, wave to breath. Lantern light shimmers gently on the water's surface, not with bright, sharp reflections, but with blurred, sleepy glows. They move slowly, stretching and gathering again as the water lifts and lowers. These quiet patterns repeat and repeat, asking nothing, promising nothing, simply existing in their easy, steady way. If a breeze passes through, it does so with tenderness. It slips softly between the boats and along the pier, making only the faintest sound, a small creak of wood, a soft brush of rope. Each noise rises and then sinks back into the hush, like a sigh forgotten the moment after it ends. The night has grown thick around the harbour, but inside this thickness is calm. No edges, no rush, no hard corners. Just the feeling of being tucked in, of being allowed to stop, of being wrapped in something larger and kinder than any single thought. Here, it is easy to imagine the harbour as a quiet mind, wide and spacious, but not busy. Boats resting like thoughts that have chosen to lie down for a while. Lanterns shining like small, steady points of comfort. Not bright enough to disturb, just warm enough to reassure. Waves moving like the softest of dreams, touching and then slipping away. In this softness, the need to move fades. The urge to do or change or fix slowly loosens its hold. Stillness begins to feel natural, even inviting, like sinking into a deep, safe bed at the end of a long day. The harbour does not try to sleep. It simply is at rest, and that is enough. Breath follows that example. Each inhale arrives quietly, gentle and unforced. Each exhale leaves a little more behind, taking with it stray tension, leftover noise, fragments of the day. With every slow breath out, the body and the harbour seem to fall into even closer harmony, sharing the same quiet rhythm. The longer the night goes on, the more complete the silence feels. It does not mean there are no sounds. It means that every sound fits. Nothing startles. Nothing disturbs. Everything belongs to the same calm, low murmur of the late hour. Lanterns continue to burn, steady and sure. Their flames are not restless. They do not flicker wildly or strain against the air. They simply hold their place, offering their gentle light to anyone who happens to pass, or to no one at all. Just like the harbour, they have settled into their role in the night. All around, the sense of being held grows stronger. Held by gravity, by the softness of the air, by the slow pull of the tide. Held by the hush that has draped itself over water and wood, over rope and sail, over every quiet corner. Held and completely safe to let go. Now, the mind can rest as easily as the boats. Thoughts can rock softly, then drift farther out, then grow faint and quiet. Some may return for a moment, like a gentle wave touching the shore, and then they too glide away. Nothing has to stay. Nothing has to be chased. Here, in this harbour wrapped in silence, rest is not something to reach for. It is already present in the stillness of the masts, in the softness of the waves, in the steady glow of the lanterns. It is in the slow breath, the heavy, peaceful body, the mind that is finally free to grow quiet. The night stands guard over all of it, patient and kind. Time stretches out, unhurried, without pressure. Each moment blends into the next, like ripples fading into calm water. Everything is ready for sleep, and sleep is welcome here. In this deep, gentle hush, with the harbour at peace, and the world grown soft and slow, the only thing left to do is nothing at all. Just rest in the silence. Just float in the quiet. Just let the stillness deepen and deepen, until even the waves seem to pause, and everything is softly, completely at ease. The harbour has become very quiet now. The night feels deeper, softer, as if the world has taken a long, slow breath and then settled into rest. The lanterns along the docks still glow. Their light is gentle, almost sleepy, a warm shimmer on the slow, dark water, a kind of whispering glow that does not ask for anything at all. Take a final, unhurried look across the water. The ripples move in lazy patterns, folding into one another. Light and dark mingle and blur. Edges soften, Everything feels slower here. The boats rest easily in their lines, swaying just a little. Each small movement is smooth and calm. Nothing pulls, nothing hurries. It is all just a soft floating in place. Notice how your own body feels a bit like that now. Quiet, loose, held. As if you too were gently tied to a safe, peaceful place. The air is cool and kind against your skin. You can almost feel the night wrapping around you like a comfortable blanket. Protective, still, steady. Your eyes may be heavy, or they may still drift over the dark shapes of boats and docks and water. However they are, it is all right. There is no right way to be here, only this easy, quiet presence. Some small part of you knows it is time to turn away from the harbour, not leaving it behind, just slowly turning inward, like closing a door most of the way, but not all the way. The light still spills through. Imagine yourself beginning to move away from the edge of the dock. No rush, body loose, steps slow and soft. Each step a calm, gentle rocking, like the water itself. The wooden boards beneath you feel familiar now. You know their quiet sounds. You know the rhythm of your own weight, resting and lifting, resting and lifting. Everything feels simple and slow. From where you are, you can still see the glow of the lanterns. They shimmer in the corner of your awareness. You know they are there, watching over the harbour, keeping it warm and tender in the dark. As you drift away, the sounds of the harbour follow at a distance. A faint lapping of water, the softest creak of wood. Maybe a distant, sleepy call carried over the water, almost too quiet to hear. Those sounds grow softer, the way a dream fades at the edge of waking. They are still part of you, but they do not need your attention now. They can keep going on their own, just as your breath keeps moving on its own. Notice that lantern-like feeling in your chest, a small, steady warmth deep inside. It may feel like a soft, glowing point behind your ribs. Or maybe it feels like a gentle openness spreading through your whole body. Imagine that this inner glow comes from the harbour itself, a little piece of its quiet light, carefully placed within you. It does not flicker, it does not strain, it just rests there, shining softly. Each breath you take feeds this light. Breathing in, the glow grows warmer. Breathing out, it spreads more easily through you, down your shoulders, along your arms, into your hands and fingers. The warmth travels down your back, down through your hips, into your legs, your ankles, your feet, and toes. Every part of you gently lit from within, like a calm lantern carried through the night. As you move farther from the docks in your mind, notice how peaceful it feels to carry this light with you. You no longer need to look for the harbour. You do not need to turn back. It has already come along. Its quiet glow is inside you. Thoughts may drift in, as they sometimes do. Little fragments of the day, random images, bits of sound. Let them pass like small boats on the water, gliding through, and then out of sight again. You do not need to follow them. They can float where they wish. Your attention can stay close to this gentle warmth in your body, to the soft rhythm of your breath, to the feeling of being carried. With each breath out, feel yourself drifting inward a little more, like moving from the open harbour toward a small sheltered cove inside your own chest. A place where the water is smooth and deeply calm. A place no wind can disturb. Here, nothing asks anything of you. There is nothing to solve, nothing to remember, nothing to improve. Just this easy resting. The night around you grows quieter still. The harbour lights in your memory blur and soften, like candles seen through half-closed eyes. You know they are there, but they no longer need to be clear. They can fade into a gentle glow at the edges of your awareness. You might notice now how heavy your body feels, comfortably heavy, supported, held by whatever cradles you in this moment. You do not have to hold yourself up. The inner harbour spreads through you like calm water filling a safe basin. Your muscles loosen and sink. Your thoughts spread out and thin. All that remains is this sense of quiet, this sense of being home. If any tension remains, imagine the soft lantern light moving gently toward it, not forcing anything, simply resting there, warm and kind. With each exhale, the tightness has permission to soften, even just a little. Even the smallest shift is enough. Bit by bit, the space inside you clears. Slowly, gently, peacefully, until it feels as though your whole body is simply breathing light, breathing calm, breathing night. You may feel yourself beginning to lose track of the harbour's details, the shape of the boats, the exact sound of the water, the way the lanterns looked. All of that can become soft now, like a story you once heard. What remains is the feeling, the sense of safety, of being watched over by something quiet and kind. You carry that feeling with you, the way you would carry a lantern cupped carefully in both hands. Even as the scene slips deeper into the background, the calm stays. It settles in your chest, in your belly, in your shoulders and jaw, in the space behind your eyes. Now, there is less to do, less to see, less to think about. Just the gentle rise and fall of breath, the soft flow of warmth through a resting body. Thoughts might drift in and out, light and passing. You do not need to push them away. You also do not need to follow. They can come and go on their own, like slow clouds over still water. If at any time the harbour returns to your awareness, that is fine. If it does not, that is fine too. You can always return to the simple feeling of being safe and at ease, of being carried by the quiet. In this soft inner night, you are home, held in a calm that does not depend on where you are or what you see. A calm that lives in your breathing, in the gentle weight of your body, in the quiet lantern of warmth within. Let everything grow simpler now. Fewer words, more space, more silence between each breath. The harbour is near. inside. Its peace is your peace. Its stillness is your stillness. Breath in and out. Softly in, softly out. Drifting, resting, floating in the dark, carried by the quiet. Safe now, safe to let go, safe to sink deeper and deeper into silence. The harbour has grown very quiet now. Night has settled fully, soft and deep, like a warm blanket around everything. The lanterns along the water are dimmer than before. Their light is gentle now, not bright, not asking for any attention. Just a soft golden glow resting on the surface of the water. The air is still and mild. Nothing to do, nowhere to go. Only this calm, easy quiet. The boats are resting too. They sit in the slow, steady cradle of the harbour. Lines are tied, anchors are down. Everything held in place, safe and sure. You are here with them, also resting, also anchored, also held. The water moves in a very small way. A faint rise and fall, almost like the harbour is breathing. In and out, in and out. Your own breath can be as slow as this, not forced, not managed, just following that same gentle rhythm. In and out, in and out. Each breath a small, kind wave. Each exhale a tiny tide going out, carrying the last bits of effort away. Lantern light shivers softly on the water, fading with every passing moment. You may notice one last glow, low and warm, somewhere along the pier. It does not need to guide you anywhere now. It is simply there, a quiet witness to your rest. The day has shut its doors. Every thought that was busy or loud now feels far away, like a sound from another shore. What is left here is only the hush, the softness, the deep, easy stillness. The harbour holds a kind of knowing. It understands returning. It understands resting. Boats come here when they are done moving, and nothing about that is rushed. You too have returned. Returned from thinking. Returned from trying. Returned from all the small efforts of the day. Here, there is no need to keep anything upright or moving. No need to carry stories or plans. They can all stay outside the circle of this quiet water. Feel how the harbour surrounds you on all sides, gentle, protective, not closing you in, just wrapping you in safety. You are not adrift. You are not lost. You are anchored deeply and peacefully in a place that welcomes your rest. Notice how the wooden pier no longer creaks as much. The night has settled into its own slow rhythm. Even small sounds seem softened, padded by the darkness and the air. Somewhere beyond, the world continues. But here, in this small sheltered piece of it, everything has slowed almost to stillness. Just enough motion to remind you that you are alive, breathing, and safe. If any thought rises, It can drift across the surface of your mind like a leaf on the water, seen but not held, not important to follow. It simply floats past and is gone. You are not required to do anything with your thoughts, not required to fix or decide or solve. They are allowed to loosen, to unravel, to fall quiet. The body understands this language of quiet. It understands when it is safe to rest. The muscles begin to let go, one easy layer at a time. The face softens. The shoulders sink a little deeper. You are supported from beneath, just as the boats are supported by the water. You do not have to hold yourself up. You can lean into that support a little more with each slow breath. In this gentle harbour space, time does not press on you. There is no schedule, no arrival that has to happen. Rest itself is enough. If sleep wants to come, it will drift in like a quiet tide, soft, unhurried, steady. You do not have to reach for it. You can simply allow it the way the shore allows the water. And if sleep does not come right away, that is also perfectly fine. This peaceful resting is more than enough. Just being here, quiet and easy, is already a deep kind of rest. The last lantern on the pier grows softer, as if its flame is relaxing too. The circle of light is smaller now, gentler, not trying to push back the night. Darkness gathers around it like a friend, not a stranger. You are inside that same circle of safety, inside the soft edge between light and dark, wrapped in the comfort of both. Hear again in your mind the hush of the water against the harbour walls, a smooth, steady shushing sound, as if the whole harbour is whispering, "Rest now. It is all right. You are safe here." There is no need to answer, no need to respond. Just let that message sink in as slowly and deeply as it wants to. Safe, supported, held. Nothing is being asked of you. Nothing is expected. You are completely free to let go. The mind can grow dim like the lanterns. Thoughts grow softer at the edges. Images blur and drift. Everything that felt sharp or bright can now fade into a kind grey-blue calm. You are floating in this calm harbour within yourself, not moving forward, not moving back, just gently resting in place. Anchor steady, lines secure, water slow and kind beneath you. Breath in, breath out. Each breath a small rocking motion. Each breath a reminder. It is safe to relax. The night deepens, but it does not close in. It opens instead, like a wide, soft sea of quiet around you. You are cradled at its center, untouched by any storm, tucked into the most peaceful cove. If you notice small feelings or memories, you can let them drift to the edges, as if the harbour is wide enough to hold them all without effort. They do not disturb the calm at the center. They are simply part of the gentle, distant shore. Here in the center, only ease remains. Your body knows what to do. Your breath knows what to do. You can trust this natural falling into rest. The lanterns are almost out now. Only the faintest suggestion of glow remains, like a memory of light. It is enough to feel the shape of the harbour, even without seeing it. Enough to remember that you are not alone in the dark. All around you, quiet, soft, protective quiet. Not empty, but full of peace. You are free to sink as deeply into this quiet as you wish, into sleep if it comes, into still, peaceful wakefulness if that is where you are. Both are welcome. Both are rest. Nothing more needs to be said. Nothing more needs to be done. Just this harbour, this breath, this gentle, endless quiet. And you, resting here, safely anchored in the soft, silent dark.